Hi everybody. All right, so today's story time is about corn and popcorn. It's a really nice fall snack. I mean, it's a nice snack anytime, but in the fall is when the corn is harvested. And then you have to decide if you're going to eat it as fresh corn, frozen corn, or you're going to dry it out and make popcorn. So our first book is all about, it's a sort of a nonfiction book, an information book about popcorn, where it comes from. It's called Let's Pop Popcorn, and it's written by Cynthia Schumerth and illustrated by Mary Reeves Ools. And white end papers for white fluffy popcorn, I think. And this book is published by Sleeping Bear Press. All right, let's pop popcorn. Dig the ground up with a hoe. Plant the seeds and hope they grow. So this is a springtime picture. That's when you plant the seeds. Sunshine warms them in the earth. Raindrops fall to quench their thirst. And here are their little seeds underground. They look a lot like popcorn kernels. And here are some worms digging the ground. Surprise! Like magic, sprouts appear, green and tender, finally here. This is later in the spring, and they start to grow. Every day we pull the weeds, protecting plants we've grown from seeds. Knee-high, waist-high, past our heads, ears sprout hair, that's fuzzy red. So there's the ears of corn, and they sprout these little hairs called tassels, I think. Pick before the frost arrives, shuck them clean so each one dries. Shucking is when you take off the outer leaves from the cob. You can see inside, nice and golden yellow. Plink, plink, plunk, plink, then find a pot. Heat those kernels good and hot. So now these are dried out corn kernels. I'm going to put them in a pot with a little bit of oil. That's some heat. Steam builds around each kernel's germ, puffs the starch called endosperm. Not strong enough to hold this load. Oh, what's going to happen when the shell starts to crack? Kaboom! The shells, called pericarps, explode. And inside is this white fluffy kernel. First one, pop, then pops galore. Pop, 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 pop. Usually gets faster too, the hotter it gets. Shake, shake, shake. Pop, 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 then shake some more. Pop, 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 pop. Of course, you have to be careful with the stove there, right? The popping stops. The work is done. Now it's time for popcorn fun. What are you gonna do with all that popcorn? Pour it in our favorite dish, butter, salt, then give a swish. Lick our fingers. Delish. It has that little yummy, yummy popcorn. Pop, pop, popcorn. Delicious. And here it tells you why popcorn pops. And it pops because there's a little bit of water trapped inside. And when you heat that water up, it expands and then goes and pushes out the popcorn. And that's the end. Pop, pop, pop. Delish. I like that book a lot. Now I have another funny story. This one's more about corn than popcorn. It's something else you could do with a cornfield. And it's called Thump, Quack, Moo, A Wacky Adventure. And it's written by Doreen Cronin and Betsy Lewin. And they are the ones who did the Click, Clack, Moo books. So you'll recognize the farmer, you'll recognize the other animals, especially the duck. And this book is published by Athenaeum Books for Young Readers. It's almost time for the annual Corn Maze Festival. Farmer Brown is very excited. This year, he is making the Statue of Liberty corn maze. He's going to need help to get everything done in time. So he's got some paper to draw out his plan. The chickens do not want to help. I'll let you use my hammers, said Farmer Brown. The chickens are now building the fence around the corn. Cluck, whack, cluck, whack, cluck, whack. The chickens are excited. Should they be allowed to use hammers, you think? The cows don't want to help. I'll let you use my paintbrushes, said Farmer Brown. The cows are now painting the barn and giving it a fresh coat of paint. Moo, thwack, moo, thwack, moo, thwack. The cows are very excited. So the cows want to use the paintbrushes. Should they be allowed to use paintbrushes? Probably not. Duck never wants to help. No help, said Farmer Brown to Duck. No more special order organic duck feed. So he has to help, and look at his mad face. He does not want to help. Duck is now building the ticket booth for the hot air balloon ride. Thump, quack, thump, quack, thump, quack. Duck is still not excited. The mice are taking a correspondence course on meteorology and are too busy to lend a hand. And look, they're learning about weather. It says partly sunny, humidity 60%. I guess the mice have to learn something too. The air is filled with the busy sounds of the farm. Cluck, whack, moo, thwack, thump, quack. The mice are keeping an eye on the weather. Increasing clouds, wind advisory in effect. Pay attention to the weather. Farmer Brown is busy too. Every night he gets out his sketchbook, graph paper, and art supplies and mower. He sketches a little, measures a little, counts a little, and cuts. Farmer Brown wants it to be perfect. So he has to go in and mow down some of the extra corn stalks left behind to make a maze. Every night, Duck sneaks into the cornfield. He brings his sketchbook, graph paper, art supplies, and hedge clippers. He also brings his night vision goggles and glow-in-the-dark ruler. And then he sketches a little, measures a little, counts a little, and cuts. He's very excited now. I love that the duck has night vision goggles. The preparations continue day after day. Cluck, whack, moo, thwack, thump, quack. The mice keep an eye on the weather. Barometric pressure dropping. Uh-oh, storms are coming. That's what that means. Busy animals here though, huh? It is the day before the annual Corn Maze Festival. For the last time, Farmer Brown gets out his sketchbook, graph paper, art supplies, and mower. He sketches a little, measures a little, counts a little, and cuts. The Statue of Liberty corn maze is finished. He is too excited to sleep. Duck sneaks into the cornfield for the last time. He brings his sketchbook, graph paper, art supplies, and hedge clippers. He also brings his night vision goggles and glow-in-the-dark ruler. He sketches a little, measures a little, counts a little, and cuts. He is too excited to sleep. And you see, we can see the light of the night vision goggles makes it greenish color. It's time for the Corn Maze Festival opening ceremony. The chickens aren't allowed to use the hammers anymore. Look what the chickens have done. They've caught themselves into the fence. They're such bad hammer. They're so bad with the hammers. The barn is not quite what Farmer Brown had in mind. Should the cows be allowed to have that anymore? Look, they painted themselves on the side of the barn, but they painted themselves looking kind of like giraffes. It's very silly. I don't think they should be allowed to paint. The ticket booth has a slight design flaw. Look, he put like an opening here and here with only a space for his beak and his eyes and his wings. Yeah, it's not right. This all should be here or something. Something's not right. But all Farmer Brown cares about is his corn maze. He pays $5 and hops into the hot air balloon. At last, he will see his masterpiece from above. Statue of Liberty corn maze, hot air balloon, $5. Uh-oh, this is the calm before the storm. I think the mice are predicting somebody's going to get angry when they go up in the hot air balloon. And you have to go up in the hot air balloon to get up really high. Duck also pays $5 and hops into the hot air balloon. At last, he will see his masterpiece from above. And I don't think Farmer really likes Duck because Duck is a bit of a troublemaker. So let's see. They're going up, up, up in the hot air balloon, and there's the plan for the Statue of Liberty corn maze that the farmer wanted to build. But what does it actually look like? What did Duck do to it? Did he give the Statue of Liberty a duck face? Do you see that? The rest of it looks pretty normal, but the face is a duck face, and I don't think the farmer did that. So I'm pretty sure the farmer's really mad. Let's see what happens. But Duck's not gonna wait to find out. Duck is really excited now. Geronimo! And the weather report is partly cloudy with a chance of duck. And there's the duck flying out to get away from the very, very angry farmer, because the duck has kind of spoiled his corn maze. And that is the end of that very, very silly story, Thump, Quack, Moo. It was a wacky adventure. I kind of liked the Statue of Liberty duck corn maze, but I know the farmer did not care for it, and he worked really hard on it, so I can see why he's mad. Are you ready to hear another story? It's called Popcorn. And we're going to do this story on the board. I'm going to have to turn this down just a bit so you can see it. All right. Here's how the story goes. One fall night, Mama and Papa Bear went to a Halloween party and left Sam home all alone. What's Mama and Papa Bear dressed up? She's a witch, he is a vampire, and little Sam is dressed as a candy corn. So they left him home alone. So he decided to call his friends. He told them to wear a costume and bring something good to eat to his house. They were going to have a little Halloween party. So the first one to arrive was Betty. She rang the doorbell. Can you say ding dong for the doorbell? Ding dong. She rang the doorbell. She was dressed as a cat, and she had brought some popcorn kernels to make popcorn for a snack. Ding dong. The second person to arrive was Billy. He also brought popcorn kernels for a snack. And let's see. The third person to arrive, can you say ding dong again? Ding dong. Was Buster. And Buster brought some popcorn kernels to have for a snack. Everyone brought popcorn. They all love popcorn. So the party was lots of fun, but everybody got hungry soon after playing some games and listening to music. They decided to pop some popcorn. They went into the kitchen, and with the help of his friends, Sam put the pot on the stove, and he put some oil in, and he waited for it to get hot. Then he shook in the popcorn kernels. Oops. And he put the top on, and the popcorn started to pop. Can you make some popping sounds with me? First, it starts off really slowly. Let's go slowly. Pop, pop, pop. A little faster. Pop, pop, pop. A little faster. Pop, pop, pop. A little faster. Pop, 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 pop. And pretty soon, the popcorn began to spill out into the room. Pop, 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 pop. Keep making those popping sounds. Pop, 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 pop. There was so much popcorn, it started to cover and fall out into the next room. Pop, 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 pop. And it was covering his friends. Pop, 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 pop. Oh my goodness. There was so much popcorn, it filled the whole house with popcorn. Pop, 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 before it finally stopped. Pop. What happened? Help! Where did everybody go? Get me out of here. All of his friends were covered in popcorn, and they wanted to just go home. But Sam said, no, you have to help me get rid of this popcorn, or I'll be in big trouble. Look at that mess. How do you clean up that mess of popcorn? How are you going to clean up all that popcorn? What do you think? Well, we better start eating it. Can you eat with me? Crunch, 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 munch, munch, munch. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Munch, munch, munch. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Munch, munch, munch. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Munch, munch, munch. Oh, they ate and ate until the popcorn was gone. I don't care if I ever see popcorn again in my whole life, said Buster. I feel like my stomach is going to burst, said Betty. Me too, said Billy. Sam felt sickest of all. He said goodnight to his friends, cleaned up, and went to bed. Later that night, Mama and Papa came home with a present for Sam. Wake up, Sam. We brought something for you. What is it? He groaned. His tummy still hurts. Remember, he ate too much. What do you think they brought him? Maybe they brought him back from the party. Popcorn! Oh no! Do you think he wants to eat any more popcorn? No, I don't think so. I do not think so. And that is the end of that silly story, Popcorn. I will see you next week. And we'll be doing Halloween stories next week. I hope everybody's ready with their Halloween costumes. All right, I'll see you soon.